What's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be reacting to World Championships Disc Golf 2022 Round 4. It's going to be front 9 and back 9 all in one. So you don't have to go and click the back 9. And we're going to skip, ads or whatever throughout the video. And by ads, I mean there's like little cutaways sometimes. So I guess before we get into it, I guess we're getting into it right now, but oh yeah, see, they always have these little update things, and they're trying to make it more like, if you're watching this live on TV, which is kind of cool, you know what I mean? They've got little blasts from the past, but I guess this is a good time to ask you guys. I think the way they do Worlds is a bit weird, in the sense that it's, it's a course that has already been played on the tour that year. Now, I know that doesn't seem that weird, but think about this. If there's 5 rounds in Worlds, what if the first 3 were actually on, in that location, on the course or courses that have been played before that players know? And what if the last 2 rounds were 2 temp courses? Maybe it's on the same, what am I going to say? The same land. Yeah, the same area, the same course, whatever. But they make a whole different 2 sets of 18, or however they want to do it. And these sets of 18 are made by, Hall of Famers, or famous course designers, or even, help designed by touring pros that aren't, in the competition this year. Right? For example, Nathan Queen, he won the, the end of the year tournament tour. I can't remember the actual name of it, but he won a lot of money. He's made a name for himself now, but he is not actually competing in the World Championship. So it's like someone like him could have helped to make these temp courses. But I feel like it doesn't really do much justice to find out who is the actual best in the world if all 5 rounds are on courses that they've all played. I feel like it would be more... think about school when you're taking a test. Yeah, you can study and all that, but it's like... sometimes you have to figure stuff out. And I feel like if we have, the technology now where there could be, screens on blind holes to show, the fairways and stuff. Players can judge from that. European Open, they had a big screen. A couple places in this tournament, they have big screens, but... wouldn't it be... just let me know in the comments below. Do you think the future World from here on out should be first 3 rounds, sure, maybe it's at a course that's already established. Last 2 rounds are at a completely new blind, none of the touring pros know, new courses. Now, obviously, it might not be a huge surprise for some of it. It's obviously you're going to see cut grass and whatnot, but... I feel like it should be kind of a surprise. Then it's more of a test of who is actually the best, who can actually adapt to the situation. There's not going to be any information. It's not going to be, something I can write down on a notebook. Hole 1, throw my nuke. Hole 2, throw Firebird. Hole 3, throw, you know what I mean? It's like, what do I do? I don't know. I feel like that would be make it more interesting. But anyways... I'm actually surprised Paul McBeth is tied for first. Aaron Gossage, it's like he came out of nowhere. But Paul McBeth, he's got I don't know if you heard, but he's got an injury. So it's actually hard for him to do his normal throw where he actually has his offhand, his left hand kind of involved in it. And he's got it actually pin to his side now. So it's crazy that he's playing that well. And now Calvin actually threw it pretty far, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Calvin just threw it far. I've never played this course. 595. How come they didn't measure the other guys? Come on.
Up the middle for Calvin. I mean, that is dream setup for this 1,224-foot par 5.
I think this is the first time in the last 2 rounds that we haven't seen Aaron Gossage's name at the front of the overheads. He is...
So, my opinion on what's happening right now is I'm actually kind of shocked to see these players in the top right now. Why? Because, yes, they're great golfers, but it's not like they're the best throwers in the world. Now, I think Paul McBeth is kind of the exception, where he is actually a really talented thrower and obviously one of the best golfers. For 5 times, he's been the best golfer in the world. And it's also kind of weird to say that because, like, Worlds is just one tournament. It almost feels like it's not its own thing. That's why I feel like we should get the temp courses in. But anyways, we don't have any throwers on the card. You know, like, if I had to say... Hold on, I'll turn on the mic. But if I had to say, like, who is the best disc golfer in the world, skill-wise, I wouldn't say Aaron Gossage. He's probably an amazing golfer. He makes very smart decisions. He makes very smart throws. But he doesn't throw it nearly as far as Seppo Paiu, Eagle McMahon. Like, those people, I feel like, are the most skilled in the world. Like, that is just my opinion. Okay, like, ratings-wise, you can say whatever. I think ratings tends to point towards more, like, for golf. There's, like, two different categories. There's, like, throwers. Calvin's, you know, more of a thrower than a golfer, I would say. He's a really good putter. But it's good to at least see him on the card. But honestly, like, I'm surprised Eagle McMahon is not up here. Maybe he comes through on the next round. By the way, I've only watched Jomez so far, so if you please don't do any spoilers or anything.
Wow.
All right, so that's his.
That
I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to do that. Like, someone might come in here and be like, "Yeah, so what if it's golf? You know, so what if it's boring to you, but it's really difficult?" Like, obviously, this is, you know, even though it's not like as far as the farthest throw ever. These are like, you know, 350 approaches on a dime. I mean, that's really technical. It's like you're playing a whole nother course. And this is like one of the holes. You're playing to this basket. Like, you could think of it like that. Like, they're actually throwing drivers and stuff to get to the pin at this point. I'm just not the biggest fan of seeing only a golfer win. Like in a dream situation, it would be something like Seppo Paiu, Simon, Eagle, and I mean, Garrett Gurthie almost like doesn't get up there. You know, Anthony Barella is kind of like, he's an amazing thrower. He just lacks the golf that Eagle McMahon has. I'm just surprised Eagle's not up there. And now Calvin is. Ooh.
So that's.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that's a shank. Because that I think is actually going
All
to be
right.
pretty tough.
Yeah, let's see how he handles this. I'm curious.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. Well, he has a throw.
It's not good under there. That's well done.
If that went in, that would have actually been the craziest
30,
save
35
ever
That was
recorded.
fantastic from there, though.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, imagine if that just
That
went
is
in.
so treacherous. I don't think I've ever seen anyone there before.
All right, now the
Went
putting
under
green.
in round one. It was kind of a Spider-Man move.
I was gonna. I mean,
That
I've
was
made a
live.
video about putting
Versus
recently,
Chris.
and usually putting is really easy for me.
Calvin.
The last round I played, I putted real bad, but like putting green for me
for the
is
par.
almost boring.
It's a good scramble after the
Is that
errant
just
third.
me? Like, it's really
Yeah,
satisfying
you're
to
right. That
actually
was a
putt, but to
total shank on
watch
the approach.
putting
That's one that he,
in the open
you
is
know, he needs to
like
dial that in.
not very pleasing. Calvin is bored. Why'd they show that? Aaron Gossage, bro.
Okay, new leader.
But honestly, he's playing. I mean, like, for someone who's not like usually at the top, this is incredible. Like, I'm sure there's people out there who have never heard of Aaron Gossage up until now. Like, he is doing incredible. If he actually wins the world,
We've only
I'll
seen
be shocked.
one birdie on this hole.
Now, Paul McBeth is actually going
yeah,
crazy.
throwing from 380 feet. The only.
But I'm
eagle.
pretty sure he's
I
just
heard
playing
about
golf.
this,
He's not
that
really
he
having to
wedged it
throw.
into
Does that make
the
sense?
And then on hole 2, he birdied from 110. So he knocked out 490 feet of hole outs in the first 2.
I did
As we
not know
see
about hole 2.
McBeth just go big turnover, perfect spot there. He
I
stays
kind of
up.
wish there were more holes in general where it's like a thrower would have an advantage. Is that just selfish? I mean, I'm not even really a thrower compared to the throwers like in the top 100 or whatever. Like, sure, I can probably throw 450, but it's like 450 is like minimum distance in this field. It's pretty insane, but it's like I almost wish, I don't know. I wish people weren't so conservative all the time, but that's just how you win. I remember a while ago, I mean, not necessarily. It just feels like it when you watch this sometimes. Maybe they're just that good. Maybe that's just why it seems like that. But I remember, I can't remember what video it was, but
trying to
like Paul
finesse your-
McBeth and I think Simon or something were talking about, like how disc golf used to be, and someone's like, so, like all you had to do was lay up, and Paul's like, yeah, that's all they did was lay up, but that's how it is now. It's like, it's not really layup, but it's like there's almost no reason to ever have to throw 500 feet. Like, even if you could throw 500 feet, there's zero reason that you have to do that, because it doesn't give you any advantage. I don't know. It seems a bit bland at times. But I feel like if we had the 2 temp courses for the last 2 rounds, that would mix things up so much. And it would be unfair, but that's the point. You get these 3 rounds where you know this course, or you know it relatively well because you've played it before, you've practiced on it, and then you get these 2 that are like a test to see who really is the best in the world. I think the best in the world has to be able to adapt. We don't really have that factor
Right side.
when you play the same course
Is this wide enough?
all the time. I mean, I'm not saying all the time, but it's like, for this tournament, everyone's probably played this course, a whole bunch of times by now. And then the newer course, they probably still played a whole bunch of times by now, because it's been in for like a year. So it's like they don't really have to adapt. The only time they have to adapt is if they lose a disc.
See, this one looks wide, but it's probably going to be
It's going to
great.
be great, I think. And
Oh, gets the poop.
All right, well, that's going to be exciting.
Even if he got the skip, it was
If Paul makes that,
Yeah.
he's going to have a good round.
All right, Cal,
That's
Paul,
my
okay.
hypothesis. If Paul makes that, he has a good round.
Nobody's really parked. No. Gets under the branches, though.
there's
Wow. Annoying roll,
Right
but
back.
a good shot.
yeah, he's in action.
Yeah, okay, I feel like he's making this.
Chris,
I don't
such
know
a-
why, but Chris Clemons is such a
fun,
good putter.
flowy putt.
I guess I'm a little bit surprised
He
I don't
really
see him
likes
at
to
the
do
top
step
more
putt if he's
often.
outside the circle.
There's been those times where, so if he makes this, it's a good round. Oh, okay.
That's no gimme.
He's gonna make that one, but bro,
He's out again.
you don't
Definitely no
expect
gimme when
that
you're
from someone
uncomfortable.
who's known for putting, who has
Does not look like
a Tour Series
comfortable
putter.
stance for Paul the way he's
Kind of weird.
sitting over that putt, but he delivers.
It's
a
kind of
good
weird,
par
like,
save.
Paul has always been a really good
From my
thrower.
understanding,
He's matched Simon in distance a handful of times in coverage, over the years. But the one thing the one thing that made him the world champion, in my opinion,
Chance
is
here for
putting.
Aaron.
Like, he was just so on it.
Tie Paul at 31.
The last 6 months, Paul has not been. I mean, he's just been
Doing that at
same
this
putting as
level,
any other
yeah.
touring pro. Usually, the putting is what sets
This
him apart.
round, tomorrow left. This is
But it's weird that he's
final
making
day in
so
a
many
way,
mistakes.
It's like
But I mean, he's still
5
tied
round
for
tournaments.
first.
This is the only
So
one we have in the entire year.
Well, you certainly
I wonder how far this hole
do yourself
actually
a big
plays.
favor by
Like, you
staying
see
on this
466 and it
Oh,
seems
yeah.
impossible.
Ca-
But you
Calvin
think about it,
isn't
like,
getting
no
here
one is throwing
clearly.
a forehand
It's early
466
still. He
feet
hasn't done
on
anything
flat
great.
ground
This
except for
is
that
just
one
not
baseball
birdie
dude.
from great position. But
I mean, I can
mean,
throw
your
my
odds of
farthest
winning
forehand ever is 500, but I
almost
had a
as
very
zero
flippy
if you're
disc,
on that second
and it was
part,
just
I
like a
think.
crazy
It's
skip.
the
I mean, there's a
par that
video of it
hurts
on
him.
my
It's the
channel.
confidence that you
Yeah,
kind
of
of
course,
lose
yeah.
from.
Sure.
I mean, this must
scores
play
is
like
Frustration.
the frustration
400 or
that adds up.
380 with the downhill.
Aaron coming up a bit short, but near the edge of the circle, he'll be putting for birdie. And
Because I wonder how these people are reaching it so easily. I mean, obviously they throw far, but it can't be playing 466. There's no way.
well, it's
That's might be OB. Oh, what do I know? It looked like it wasn't what he wanted at all.
times.
It was just
Actually,
like nose
any
up
player who's ever
and
had
not
3
turned over.
strokes
Like,
going
it's
into
okay
the
if it's
final
nose
round
up, but it has to have
has
Anheuser.
won 26 times out of 26 times.
Wow.
So
And by the way, I think if you ever watch the Jomez practice round where Eagle McMahon throws the mid-range, I think that is the coolest shot. Like, there's no one else who would throw a mid-range on this hole. That's why I'm saying, like, it's actually... Oh, Calvin messed
I
up.
ain't gonna do it.
That's actually unlike him to throw the Eagle like that. He definitely prefers that 7-speed type disc. But it's just like, everyone else is throwing a distance driver. Eagle McMahon could probably throw a putter. There's a hole coming up where he throws the Rainmaker.
He does it at every
One
round
of his
at some
rounds.
point.
I can't remember which round it. Oh man, I hope he gets this par though, Calvin. It's actually weird to say, but I'm pretty sure this is just a bad weekend for Calvin. Like, he's that good. I'm pretty sure this is just a bad weekend for him so far.
Putt down.
Aaron Gossage,
Man.
I mean, he is like the underdog of all underdogs, and so far in the tournament that I've seen, he's been putting really well.
Boy.
Yeah.
I love it.
The little fist pump, you can tell the gravity kind of starting to
All right, Calvin should make
set
this.
in. You know, with each putt meaning
This is
more
this
as
is
you go.
outside the circle. Good
Nice.
putt.
Again,
Jeez,
Calvin delivering
man.
a nice par
This is
save.
the one guy you don't want to play against. You do not want to play against Calvin. He's not just going to give you
Two
the
ways to look
stroke.
at the first 3 holes for Calvin. You could be frustrated by not getting the birdies, or you can remember the putts he's.
I mean, can you imagine? Paul is just a little bit off. He just is like he's trying to correct it. I'm pretty sure. You know, give it a little bit more on it, but at the same time, he's like lost some commitment. I don't know. It's kind of weird. He's in his own head, I think, when it comes to putting, a little bit. But can you imagine on that last hole? Let's say you were like 25 feet away, pin high. You hit the cage, and then you get the same score as Calvin after he makes that like 45 footer. Like, so annoying. Okay, but the crazy thing is, like, everyone here is throwing distance driver 388 feet. And they don't even really, like, get excited that Eagle McMahon throws a Rainmaker, which is a
Around the
2-speed.
outside.
That is
Basically
so
throwing an
hot.
AVR. Who is throwing an AVR
that
this
is so
far?
good.
Bro, like, how is that not
It's so hard for me to not quote.
glorified? I mean, like, I
Yes,
feel like it
sir.
should be more glorified. Like, that is the type of throwing we're seeing. I guess they're just so used to it, the commentators,
Everybody in the
obviously,
world will get it.
when you play with that
There's a
all the
time and
time.
a
But it's
place,
like,
man.
dude,
There's a time and a
I know.
13
It
speed.
was
He's
hard for you
Chris
to not
Clemons
get
is
it
throwing a
anyway?
13
Is that what you're
speed.
telling me?
At the moment,
To me, it's
I had to
actually.
wait,
I mean,
and
okay,
then
that was really good
that
throw.
Right there was thrown
But to
by
me,
Chris
it's like
Clemons,
shocking
and
that
worth the
Eagle
wait.
was
that
unable
was
to
really,
get
really good.
on the lead card
Beautiful shot.
here. I mean, he's got to be close. Like, obviously, there's a lot of players, and one stroke could make. I mean, he could be at 26
This
under
is wide. Does it clear
starting the
wall?
round. You know what I mean?
Yes.
What is happening? Look at this now. Is this going to keep rolling? How
But it's
many
weird.
times-
It's like, I swear, Paul McBeth, Aaron Gossage, Calvin Heimburg, nobody here could throw a putter there. That's all I'm saying. It's like, dude, if we want to actually talk about who's the best in the world, not the world champion, I feel like we got to have something more. We need more substance. We need more of a test, not just another. Oh my god. Bro.
I
Hold
think
on.
Calvin's going to be under
Ace
par
run.
after this hole.
Ace run. Oh my god.
A world championship ace. Yeah, but the world champion, I mean, I'm not saying like these majors or A tier, whatever you want to call it, these touring events are, you know, subpar. Obviously, these are the best events you could possibly play in, but it's like, I feel like the world championships has to be even more special. I feel like those 2 temp courses that we could potentially add, instead of having all 5 rounds, you know, mixed up between 1 or 2 courses, I feel like that'd be best. Because it's like round 4, instead we could be playing like a layout never before seen, with never before seen, you know, whatever situations. Because there's so many like, and they could have like 1 or 2 holes where, I don't know if you've ever played like a course where, you know, it's par 3, maybe it's only 300 feet, but it's like, you have to be so creative to reach the pin because it's some weird shot, whether it's like a very touch flick roller around a corner, or like, I don't know, just like something that would have to test the player, and you would see it like stroke difference, not just these open. I mean, this is an open hole type course, obviously, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it'd be more substance than 5 rounds at these 2 courses.
Oh, and they switched to a
That's just
straddle
my
putt, you know,
opinion.
it-
Obviously, wind is really
But no
not easy to throw in. But...
difference between a team.
All right, so here is the famous. To be honest, this is like the layup hole. You just lay up.
But it can actually
lay up.
really throw you off.
You throw. I mean, like, okay, I'm not saying 400 feet is not far, but you could throw 380 feet and throw 3 whatever again. That's all you have to do to get a birdie on this hole. I'm not saying it's easy. Like, you have to throw around trees. You can't really go through them, obviously. You're going to have to figure something out, but I mean, I think the only way this hole would be difficult is if there was a ton of wind. I mean, there's OB, sure, but it's like, dude, I don't know if I mean, you could probably comment down below. How many bogeys were there on this hole where people didn't go out of bounds? I feel like there's not even that many pars, except for maybe a missed putt. I'm sure there's missed putts here and there, but it's like, how hard can this hole possibly be? It's not. It doesn't seem like.
Definitely has all the skills.
Oh,
this drive pushing right, it's just going to be in a perfect spot. That's going to set.
It seems like every drive is in a perfect spot. Chris Clemons only threw it 380 feet, which, if I had to say, is not very far for a touring pro. Paul McBeth only threw 385. That's all you need.
It's right in the.
You know, everyone's going to get the
FPO
same
par
score,
4
even though Calvin threw almost 100 feet farther than Chris Clemons. That's why I feel like the game is sort of dull sometimes. Like, I'm not saying it's easy to do this, right? Like, there's nerves and there's obviously, like, the physical limitations, you know, chemicals in the body. Things can change. Things can be different, but it's like, I don't think it's all that difficult. Is that just me? Maybe that's the game of golf where you're trying to perfect everything, obviously, and you can't. It's impossible to be perfect. You know, maybe a hole-in-one is perfect. That's the only thing. But, I mean, Paul threw at 385. He's throwing, like, 1% power.
Mm-hmm.
It's wide
He's
open
putting.
coming.
Let's see if we get a star frame. I'll just skip forward. Let's be honest, guys.
Tough challenge.
Let's be honest, guys.
And maybe
All right.
3 rounds
Here
and
we
4
go.
holes that he's able to execute the game plan.
Okay, that was not an easy putt. I'll say that. Outside the circle, but
Lucky,
let's see if everyone else gets it.
still this tight a battle.
that's very true.
Late into the
Oh,
turn.
okay, never mind. Everyone's getting pars. Chris Clemens got
Oh,
a
what,
par.
2 holes those were?
Is Calvin the only?
Wow.
No bogeys on any other hole.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's harder than it looks. I thought they were gonna get a star frame, but it was only 1 birdie. Maybe I was wrong. It just seems like a really boring, bland hole, in my opinion. Especially when you play it 4 times, or 3 times rather, at this point.
The easiest.
Okay.
Or are they playing this course again for the final round? Maybe. This
Never,
hole is
I mean,
kind of
this-
like, I like this change of pace. You've got this weird, touchy, shorter hole. You know, if you're gonna go play a par 54 course, you'd see a hole like this. You know, it's under 350. I like to see stuff like that. This seems like too high. I don't know this shot. Oh, just kidding. It is perfect.
Round play.
Perfect. Okay, let's skip past this hole. Let me just say 2 people got a birdie, 2 people got a par. That's my guess.
Slow, great round.
Dude, I don't even have to watch it. Alright, I'll watch this hole. I swear I have not seen this. I just said 2 people will get a birdie, 2 people will get a par. That's funny.
Depends on your definition of not very good. If you like the forehand approach, it is pretty wide open up there. but
Alright,
there's
so this
also
is
backhand
similar
hazard
to,
also,
what was it? So last hole, so hole 5. This is very similar to hole 5, but it's not bland because it's not very easy off the tee. Like,
Dodds just-
sure, the distance is, I think, exactly the same, 678, which sounds like a lot, but for a par 4, you only need to throw 350 twice. I mean, seriously, you only need to throw 350 twice to be in the circle. And if you only threw 350, which is not very far, especially if you're a touring pro, you know what I mean? You'd get a birdie. Obviously, that has to be 350 in the right place. And it makes it less bland because, like, obviously you have this crazy gap off the tee. And honestly, maybe it's easier to see in person, or, like, less intimidating in person. On camera, it looks very scary. I mean, I would be, like, anxiety-ridden
Let's check
seeing that
out
gap.
the
I would probably
physical
just throw
form.
forehand, it'd be fine. Okay, let's skip this. It's weird that they do the form checks on holes where no one is actually having to throw. No one's really ripping the disc as hard as they can. It's like, you know, the 70% golf shot. All right, let's see how they do.
People are.
This is a
baited
less
into trying to
bland
play a little
hole in my
skip shot.
opinion,
The
at
grass
least.
Isn't very skippy. We'll see what he goes with. McBeth, however, that's kind of the ideal.
Ooh, that is a good shot stop. All right, it's in his range. 10 feet farther, I don't know if he would make it today, to be honest. Aaron Gossage is actually ahead by 2. That's actually kind of a big deal. But we do have like the water holes coming up back 9, so I think I kind of like this course. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad for the World Championships. I would prefer the temp holes or whatever. Maybe have some holes from the original courses, but
those gaps are just
something like that would be cool in my opinion.
Grand Canyon size. How do you get the longest drive in this hole with Calvin on the card with a forehand?
True that.
That is so big.
It's just
Good.
it's insane to me.
It's weird that everyone, even the touring pros, they throw zone for every approach.
In the whole field right now.
It really is.
I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, there's not really any touch players that you see. Maybe touch is not good.
Love charity.
But like personally, I'd just be throwing like an AVR at the basket, champion AVR. I mean, it's still stable. Or I would throw a straight putter or something like that. I wouldn't throw something super overstable at the ground. But hey, I'm not there right now, right? All right, so obviously there's an ad or something. We're going to skip past that. You're welcome.
He keeps it pretty clean shaven. I'm going to put him on 34 years old.
That seems about right. Calvin turns this one over.
Oh, he threw his eagle?
Heiser.
Yeah, this is going to be an out of bounds.
Dude, I would actually be so mad at the spectators moving out of the way. I'd rather them hit it with their umbrella. You know what I mean? And pretend it's an accident. I wonder if anyone's ever tried to set that up where, like, dude, stand right here on this hole in case I shank it.
It's his release point.
This better be overstable. Well, now it is.
Yeah, that's a good.
All right, so they both threw slow discs. Honestly, par 5. Maybe it should be a par 4, but it's like, I don't really like that. In the World Championships, okay, Aaron Gossage is in first. That's different. He should lay up. Everyone else should be like ripping on a driver or something, trying to get an eagle.
Wants to go.
You know what I mean? No one is trying to get. Okay, thank goodness he's at least throwing a driver. He's trying to get the strokes because he wants to win. Everyone else just wants to golf. Okay. I mean, it's kind of difficult. I feel like the only line you can really rip is if you're a lefty backhand, turnover, obviously, or a sidearm. And I don't know how far of a carry you'd actually have to throw, but it's like, I'm surprised Chris Clemons didn't go with a distance driver and just try to do like a flex play. You know, I mean, maybe it's too dangerous, but if you're a touring pro and the hole is 994, shouldn't you be able to throw 450 if you threw a distance driver? That's what I think.
That's going to be a problem for him.
Yeah, I get,
That was a pretty good forehand. I mean, he got it turned over. He actually threw it pretty hard. Realistically, I'd like to see him throw his
we'll see soon enough.
other Star Destroyer backhand turnover from max distance. I don't think Calvin really throws rollers, but that would...
Yeah, that is what he tries
to do. Chris Clemons, are you OB again? Bro. Chris Clemons might not be the world champion this year.
There are ways that pretty much guarantees bogey.
Actually, if he gets a par, that'd be so sick.
If you ask me. Get inbounds, and if you've got the forehand, push it over there to that.
Yeah, but it's like, this is not really something to cheer over. It's just like boring. It's so hard to enjoy it. I mean, like, okay, obviously, if you're the player, you're throwing it hard. They're throwing it hard. That's to enjoy, but it's like, seems a bit bland. Maybe it's just it's more mental than actually the skill required to shoot the shots. Because, like, you'd have to do this for 5 rounds in a row. Just play, layup.
I think,
layup.
yeah, when
No
you do the
OB.
putter play,
This is in trouble.
Chris, when I said you're not going to be the world champion, I wasn't telling you to, like, get it all out on this one hole. He's going to take, like, an 8 now.
A safe 330
For the drive.
for the drive.
Yeah.
and then you can get big on the second shot.
And by
Wait,
big,
what?
you-
Calvin, wait, what did
Put a
he
drop.
throw?
Very
Did he
difficult.
throw
I
in
think
a-
you want to find.
He's throwing a rock 3? Is he not trying to get it there? What is going on? If he cleared that, I'm pretty sure he would have been like 40
those
feet
two
away.
trees that-
450 on the second shot.
You want to get to those two
Really?
trees.
Why
or
didn't he?
within
Okay, why didn't he just throw
75 feet of
forehand
them,
or
yes.
like a spike hyzer or different gap? Maybe
Calvin
the
did
camera
not
just makes it
in
look
position
weird.
to birdie now with
I
the
think maybe
low limb
the
ahead.
ceiling's not as low as it looked.
McBeth very much in
That's
position to
probably the
birdie.
case.
Which he will.
Because otherwise, how does he make that mistake? All right, Paul McBeth playing layup golf, and he takes the birdie. We're gonna skip ahead. Let's say Chris Clemons gets 9.
The tunnel, really.
It was a par
you need to get
5,
through
so
is
what do you
all out of
get?
bounds. So
Double bogey, that's not so bad. Double bogey, that's not so bad. So he went OB 3 times. So, okay, after the first throw, shooting for 2. Then he's shooting for... Oh, he didn't go... He only went OB twice. Okay, after the first throw, he's throwing for 4. Then he's throwing for 6. Then he lays up, gets 7.
absolutely paramount to get
For
over
some
that
reason, I thought it'd
wall.
be more.
Aaron
All right,
did
so
that
gosh.
easily.
He didn't
and
do
this
too
is
bad.
blasted.
He's still in
smoked
5th place.
all the way up to the
Oh my
corner.
God.
You're loving that.
Now, for this
A
hole...
great change in my.
This hole seems pretty scary, to be honest. I mean,
Tough backhand here.
it's like the right
Call
side is
that
kind
what we
of
just saw from Aaron.
suffocating.
I like
You know what I
the
mean?
turn.
Like, if you were
Why
going to
not?
throw a sidearm, you'd have to really
not-
make sure you throw left.
Yeah, it's nearly as good.
You can't
I
throw
would
like a
say.
flip
Oh,
up.
sure.
It's a good shot.
The
You know what
angle's
I mean?
not better.
A great opportunity to reach.
And
the
it's
green
hard
from
to,
there.
like, tell a lot of these holes from just watching on camera alone. Ooh, did he get... He did... Ooh, ooh.
Do you ever
that's
just
good.
kind of feel bad for Calvin's fairway drivers? They got made. They never knew they were going to get thrown like that hard.
I feel
you know,
bad
they're
for those
supposed to be
things.
floating around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel bad for the things that are in the way.
Okay, now
of
this
fairway
is-
drivers.
What? Just
Now, that is seriously strange in my opinion. Why
feel
would
bad
Chris
for
Clemons...
baskets. I guess.
throw-
We saw that
When
earlier.
somebody steals your
Yeah.
disc, like it's
Like a
laying in the
9
fairway
speed,
as
like-
you
I mean,
want it,
even
and
if he
somebody
got
out there
clean,
with it.
it's
I was
going
thinking of a
nowhere.
specific disc that I had.
Maybe Chris Clemons just doesn't throw as hard as
It's
I
just
thought.
Probably whack.
I mean, he's a good golf. He's not a thrower.
sorry
He's a
that we
golfer
brought
for
it-
sure.
brought
I think his
Yeah,
sidearm
yeah,
actually goes
Heimburg.
farther than his
My
backhand.
gosh.
But I'm surprised he
this
would go
is-
with a 9 speed.
Got nothing here. He's just got to chip up, but be careful.
Maybe
You
he's
don't
really
push
just
it
trying
too
to lay
long.
up. I mean, I guess the
Very
whole
easy.
game is just to lay
So-
up in the open. All right. So let's go ahead and
Like-
skip the rest of this hole because it's just layup. I bet you Chris Clemons gets a par and almost everyone else gets a birdie.
Working
Let's
his
find
way
out.
Things.
All right, this hole
So
coming up
minor
is
league.
like, you know, kind of what I was talking about. It's like there would be like the temp courses, and there'd be some weird holes where it's like, you know, you'd throw a really weird
Has
touch shot, or
continued
you'd
to
have
be,
to adapt.
But
This
Gossage
is a,
kinda
I think this is a
stole
good
that
hole.
Spotlight. Tristan saying.
I mean, not for every hole in the course, but pretty decent hole. Actually, I'm surprised Aaron Gossage didn't get a birdie. He messed up.
Here, I'm only
Calvin got a
back.
birdie. Chris got a
1,000
par,
rated
which
play.
is a good par save. Ooh, did he
Calvin
get
Heimburg.
crazy?
Yoinked. Does this have any kind of fade? I don't think it has enough. Does it?
That's actually not a
was
bad
the
gap.
term
He was
in the
throwing a
front nine, Paul?
Firebird like disc.
Shouldn't
That was not a shoot.
All right, what we got
Yeah,
here?
they do
Zone,
little, it doesn't
forehand.
go back like
I don't know
that.
why everyone loves the zone.
Oh,
I've
no
never been a
flex at
zone
all.
guy.
What
But
is
that
this?
was a
Love
great
it.
flight.
Zone.
That did not fly like how I
Wow.
thought a zone would
Yeah,
fly.
that'll work.
That was a good throw.
Yeah.
Making the gap big though.
Keeping himself away.
It's
from
weird
those
because like
30-foot
if
putts that are
someone
just gonna
can
get
master
harder and
this hole,
harder
they're
with the
probably
fewer holes.
a touring pro who
with
plays
less
a lot
holes
of like
remaining.
doubles leagues. You know,
There's just
every
no
doubles
way
league has
anybody
holes like
has
this.
a
Oh,
higher
Paul McBeth,
park
get lucky.
percentage
I don't
right
like
now than Aaron.
I don't like how they
It's gotta
don't
be
show
more.
the ending of
Maybe like
every
90.
flight
Yeah.
because it's like
Yeah.
where'd that end up? It could have been good. It could have like pushed left from all that stuff. All right, Chris Clemons, get a birdie here. Left.
Not gonna work out for Chris.
Lame. I swear,
He is
like the disc brands, the flight numbers vary by so much. Like 5502 could be so flippy and
19%. So
understable
one in
compared
five holes
to.
he does not have to putt.
Oh,
Whoa.
Chris Clemons.
But I remember
Great
throwing
effort.
a Castaplast.
But the
I don't
one
remember what it
statistic that
was,
he
but it was like
first instilled is
3301, and it was actually
78%
overstable, like
that's
how you would
minus
expect
2
an 01
bogeys.
to be.
And the whole one
But
at
there's
Jomez
tons of
for both
other
those
discs
guys.
and brands with like
Ooh.
01 where it wouldn't be, it would just be
Check
straight
out
and flip
ABs
up.
for me. Let's see if I was.
You know what I mean?
spot
It's
that.
so weird how different the brands are.
Couple deep bids
Sometimes.
from these guys. Let's see what Paul McBeth can do.
For example, like Paul's disc was
Man, those were
5302. Now,
far.
obviously
Paul
the
was
plastic and it's
Yeah.
probably used much more, but it's like
Aaron is.
you wouldn't
not
expect
far.
that to happen.
Still gonna wait for them.
I feel like there's gonna be like
Easy
some
draw.
sort of
First and parked.
change when it comes to like
in Circle
Jomez
1 in
flight numbers in the
regulation,
future, where it's gonna be like
Second in
kind of
Circle 2 in
adjusted.
regulation, and fourth in birdie.
Because I feel like if there's a noob
Gotta
who sees
control.
that a wasp is a 5302 and flies like that, they get really confused. You know,
Great
even if it's
birdie.
different. You know, that plastic.
7 under through 10.
There's that. Okay, I'm getting.
Aaron
worried for
Gossage
us.
is looking like the
There's
world
that
champion right now.
three-stroke-
Let's go to the next hole.
What after the 5th round, you know,
All right, this is actually kind of a
But it's
scary
basically
hole. This is a must get, but it's 400
Yeah, it's
feet.
What Germ's saying.
Well, I think, clearly as the.
Okay, that's a bit
game
wide. I think he
evolves.
threw the right disc,
Gotta get a look
He
at
threw a
where Aaron
raptor.
Is here.
Like a little,
which
pulled
is
it
like a
little bit.
Firebird, I guess. Another Firebird disc.
And the field gets deeper. More talented players.
I wonder how
Three
far
stroke
this hole
lead,
actually
perfect.
plays, because there's been tons of
Nice
times
shot.
that's the
where the
second
pros are only
basket
throwing
hit
like
for Calvin off the
380.
tee.
You know, it seems like they
I
always
mean,
throw
I mean, it's a bit
bombs
of a
every
stretch,
single
but
time, but it's like these
target
top
hit.
players
Target
in the lead
yeah.
card,
Kind
they're
of
not
makes
throwing
sense,
very
right?
far. Now he's throwing the Athena.
But
All
yeah,
I was
I
trying
thought
to
this was
say
a
is that
7-speed. Am I crazy?
History.
I wonder
a
what
three-stroke
this
lead
actually
becomes
is.
less and less safe as the
Because
game,
I would
as the
assume
parity
like
comes.
almost every single disc so far that Paul McBeth has had Discraft made for him has been like an Innova disc, right? Like Onyx is supposed to be a Thunderbird, sort of. You know, it's like a beefed up Thunderbird. Zeus is obviously supposed to be a destroyer. The Luna is supposed to be like the McPro Aviar. I've never used a McPro Aviar, so I can't tell you how accurate that actually
Chris
is.
is not
but
within 20. He's about 45.
then he had like his Rock 3, which he doesn't even
Loves these
use,
little
bro.
putts. This one
He does
feels like
not
a
like the
short.
Malta.
Yeah, I feel like that's
The Malta
just
is
outside
not what
his
he
comfort.
wanted. He's like,
5
please
feet.
copy the Rock 3. And they didn't do it.
Jump putts. Here's Paul with the straddle.
Pretty much any of...
Man.
He is really off, though. Some people, I feel like they need to take more time on the lineups. You know what I mean? I feel like even if you're Paul McBeth, you have to have a putt that can line up. You can't just
Quite
putt.
delivered on.
Even if you make it 99% of
Once
the time.
again.
You know, there's a lot of
It's not
pros
gimme,
with that
by no
problem. Like
means.
Eagle McMahon lines it up every single time. Maybe Paul McBeth's lining it up this time.
See.
But it's like,
That's a solid putt right there.
why would you not line it up every single time? Now, jump putts and stuff from very far,
But if
that's
you
kind of
are
different.
making those putts,
You know what I mean?
You know, if you are
Because you're
taking
gonna have to like
advantage of that
move
situation, you are
a bit
really
more
telling
than you normally
everyone
would.
that what? How can you be?
Dude, that putt by Aaron Gossage is so creepy. I feel like he's had a lot of spit outs in his day from putts like that. All right, next hole.
The disc better than anyone in the entire field.
Except for AB.
Hole 12. This is the risk-reward hole, if there ever was one.
Yeah.
Hardest hole in the course.
Yeah, make
Oh,
it
this
look
is the
good.
one where you can go right side or
aggressive.
the turnover.
Alvin does.
I've been seeing people do this. They're kind of playing the hyzer out. They're playing it all hyzer and not trying to get any flip. When you got that power, that's a good play.
And
Oh,
that's
so
how
I
Tony's
see
closing down,
now.
and he's
I was
seeing
wondering
it.
why this was like risk reward for the longest time, or I didn't
Intentionally
realize
not
that
going
all
for
that
birdie.
like stuff up until the
Yep,
basket on
this
the right
is
side
play
is
for par,
OB.
but this is drifting. Does it dig?
I feel like if you're a world champion, you should be able to throw 450 straight. Now that's obviously very difficult, and there's wind, but it's like I'm surprised there's not more. Like, I feel like if Paul McBeth wasn't injured with his left side or whatever,
Turnover.
he should definitely be just ripping Zeus straight at the basket. I almost feel like his skill, like, he just like doesn't trust the plastic. Does that make sense? Like, I swear, he maybe trusts the putter, but it's like everything else, I haven't seen him connect in so long. You know, he hasn't been like the thrower he used to be. That's just my opinion. But it's like when he used to throw his destroyers, he had like that. I don't know what the stamp is, but it's like you can see it when he like shows his disc storage or whatever. He talks about his discs. He's like, yeah, these are last World Championship discs. But he has like that destroyer. He always got to turnover. He'd always get these massive distance. You know, it's nice and flippy for him. But it's like nowadays, it's like you never really see max trust for him in a disc. Maybe the buzz he's pretty decent with, but it's like everything else, I don't know, man. It's just like doesn't look comfortable for me.
Also doesn't make that lead as
I think he
safe
probably
when
likes the zone a
two
lot,
horses
but
coming up behind you.
oh my gosh,
Oh,
Almost does. Almost.
that would have
does.
been actually nasty.
so all of a sudden we're gonna have a big putt from Calvin. Because he is feeling healthy. He just hasn't been.
Make
doing
it. Oh, not even close.
Man, the forehand gets him there.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, I hope Calvin makes this though. Calvin, come on,
Calvin, this is to get
take the box for sure.
four
Catch
back.
Paul McBeth. Yeah,
Very.
come on. Paul is not playing up to par with you. That's what I'm
Hyzer
talking
late.
about.
And this is a hole that's been the story of a lot of
And this is like the same hole from before or something. It's like a little bit different.
exactly to where we see the nerves kind of set in and you pull it right. And if you pull it right, that doesn't come back. It's almost a 5 immediately because you have to play it to the safe side. You know, you can't, it's so close to the sidewalk.
Force over.
That's a stable disc right there.
Yeah, going with that Crystal Raptor and getting past that last bit.
That's
of,
pretty good. Great shot. All right, a 13 speed from Chris Clemons.
very wide for.
It's crazy.
Chris,
Like
catching a
throwing
little
really
bit of
doesn't
back.
matter. It's just golf. Oh.
Wow.
Didn't do anything.
But you would think like on an open golf course, you would see more throwers on the lead card. Like where is Seppo Payo even playing this? I'm actually kind of curious. Because I mean like, obviously being in a different country and all that, it's not always easy to play every single event, but World Championships, you know, you would expect more people from all over the world.
If there were-
I think.
Oh,
But Seppo is
Love
such a
Seppo.
superior
nervy.
thrower too
I think
compared
Chris
to most of
Clemons
them.
loves this
Yeah.
hole.
Yeah, I bet with that.
Now,
side
obviously,
with his
everyone is pretty
forehand, I think
similar
that
in
he
skill,
might
but
be
it's
the-
like
he might.
there's like clear differences when it comes to throwing drives. Okay, so this is pretty much a star frame. Ooh,
How are you
Calvin.
gonna beat-
Oh yeah, Calvin was really long. That makes sense. By the way, if you guys are upset that I skip a lot of it, oh yeah, I don't like these little flash
Yeah.
check-ins or whatever.
that
To be
10
honest
under,
with
he's
you,
been shooting every round, if not better.
Yeah,
He just can't.
I mean,
go into that last
I mean, like, they're not always bad. Sometimes it's like an ace or something
would say.
crazy, but it's, you know, I usually skip through it.
yeah, that is how you start.
This is another one of those holes
on
that
this
is
hole.
just.
I mean, he do that
um,
twice.
I
and
don't.
you've got
I think it's
150
bland.
to the pin.
900 feet. I would think there's gonna be more eagles on this hole. I mean, I guess that's kind of cool. There's a chance to eagle a hole, which shouldn't be, you know, very easy.
nice drive from Chris.
Yeah,
as
but it's
well.
like the okay. Chris Clemons is obviously very like they only threw it probably like 360 feet. This is not very far. Like I mean that thing is breaking. This is like 340 to 3. I mean maybe they'll show the distance. Maybe it's way farther than I think, but you don't have to throw. Okay, good. Calvin's going
Progression on
for
this
it.
hole
I was gonna say
is
like you
the
can
trap
play
you
it
fall
so
into,
boring and get a
you know,
birdie.
to mess it up. I think.
I don't know if this is the flippy
stepwise
one.
and
If
just
it's the
kinda
flippy
giving
one, it might be a
yourself
roller.
375, maybe 400 per shot is plenty.
This one starts out wide, but it is
Ooh.
drifting down the middle. This is
Ooh.
Ricky Wysocki-esque.
Yep, this is thinking about making a 3, which more power to you.
Oh,
I'm not-
Yes, please go for the 3. I think that is the play.
that's where you make him a
Whoa.
big mistake.
He's going over there.
Oh, for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, because like you could easily just lay up and be so boring and put everyone to sleep. I mean, not super boring, but it's like you
know,
can do the same shot 3 times, throw 300 Okay, or a little more than 300 feet, but it's like
Unless it's
for
like
touring pro, it's not hard to
7-8
throw
stroke lead or
350.
something. But going into
I mean, seriously, that is like
14, 15,
60%,
16, 17, 18.
maybe
I mean,
like
what a cool
40% for
Yeah.
backhand on a lot of people.
So many big numbers
This-
can happen on every single
I mean,
one
just
of
throw
them.
your
Two
most
stroke
overstable
swings
disc
on
side up.
every single one of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's just fast forward to Calvin because that's the one we want to
16,
see.
17, 18, absolutely.
Somebody's
All right,
down
go
going into
for it,
14,
Calvin.
they're
Get
gonna
this
try to
eagle, steal this
Yes.
pad.
So-
It's yours right here.
Well,
Let's go.
Calvin's gonna try to eagle it right now.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay,
pretty
go, go,
over
go.
the hill. Yeah, pretty far.
Wow.
Passed it by
See, that's how we should be
60.
playing. It's the World Championships. Go for it. Go for it. Yes, I love to see that. I don't want to see anyone else throw. Let's see Calvin's putt. That's the only thing that matters right now. See, now it's actually exciting. Let's go, Calvin. Make
All right,
this.
Calv.
Let's go. Come on, baby. He's a really good putter. Come on, right here.
Steal
Be annoying. Make this.
14.
Make it. Come on.
Oh,
Oh, I actually thought that was in, bro.
From hole 14.
That was the best part of the hole. Okay, let's see if it was a star frame. If it's a star frame, I'll be sad. Yeah, it's... Oh, Aaron Gossage missed. How did Aaron Gossage miss, bro? Come on. Playing boring, you have to get it. If you want it... Hey,
Big forehand coming
if
up.
you don't want to play like how Calvin just played, then you have to get it. 13 speed,
Does that have
439
enough?
probably
Okay.
plays like 3 set. Actually, he was
Borderline.
pretty short.
Borderline.
Good dig.
Maybe it plays like 400, but it seems like everyone is getting this hole pretty easy. I bet you it plays 400. It's like very slightly downhill. This is a good hole. I feel like I'm crazy to say that I would just go low forehand left side if I was playing right now.
bullseye
But that
flat.
looks so easy. I'd probably have to throw both to find out, but
Nice and the
I feel like both is having the option is good. Did he just... How wide did he throw that? Is this camera just making it look crazy? Bro,
super wide
okay.
from Calvin.
Now it better come back.
Or
I want Calvin to take the lead. Everyone else is kind of snoozing.
3. But the wider
Aaron
you go,
Gossage,
that back tree
the golf
definitely
shot.
does come into.
This looks
I mean, it
really
is the
good
disc
for-
golf
even
championships. It's
Wow.
not the disc thrower
And those
championships.
are the putts he needs.
You know, there we
Really,
go.
There's no such thing as better than Paul's.
You gotta appreciate the consistency. It's hard sometimes, though. It's hard for me sometimes. Come on, Calvin.
Calvin to stay 4 back.
Hit
Very
it now.
important putt.
Disgusting. All right, next hole. There's like some ad or something going on. Yeah, see, I knew it. Wait, what hole was this? Oh, for 16. It's like,
Jones-
bro, dude.
No, really, those
It's
for
320
sure
feet.
2 strokers.
This is actually really scary. I mean, comment down below. What would you throw here? 320 feet, you need to carry at least 315. So mid-range is almost out of the equation unless 0 wind and you're willing to throw it backhand. For me, that's kind of scary. I am pretty sure I would throw my monster at the tree on the left of the basket and just get it on the green. I think I would throw a monster here.
Looks great.
Tasty.
Oh, perfect shot. I feel like this
Living
hole,
room. Tough
even
putt,
though it's
though.
kind of, you know,
Yeah.
it's not very bland for how bland it could be. It's actually pretty intense. Because it's not easy to hit this every single time. Like, you have to commit.
Ooh,
That is
Paul does-
that is
no
not
way.
in.
This might
That's,
be the first time I've ever seen Paul miss the island.
That's tough.
It didn't really seem like it had a chance at any point out of his hand.
That kind of
Huge
sucks.
moment
Here-
here.
okay, so he's gonna he's gonna throw the zone hard. Respect that. I respect it. But it's actually sad. I would be so upset if I was Paul because he's on the island, but it's out of bounds.
This is on. I mean,
Yeah.
it's long, right? But it's a tough putt. He might even lay that up.
Why would you not?
Yeah,
There's
I
no
think
way
he probably
goes for
would.
that, yeah.
The way that he's putted from that range today, he's made one nice one back on 13, but he's had 3 other misses putting at the water.
Yeah, it's a.
Why are they not Oh, I was gonna say I know it's a
Closest
rock
competitor
3.
is about to take a bogey.
I can see that stamp. They just took forever to put that graphic up. To the right, a little bit. Oh, Calvin, go in. Go in.
Goods.
Oh my god, dude, he's on it.
my
Imagine if he got
gosh,
2
3
aces this
targets
round.
hit today.
2 aces.
an
How does
inch
this
high.
not go in? Does this hit the band
It
first?
does,
Yeah,
I
a
think
little
it's
Oh
bit.
my
inch
god,
high.
dude.
Wow, Calvin.
That's why it didn't go in. It hit the band first. Wow.
God. All right, if Paul McBeth makes this, he's gonna win the whole tournament.
Beth to save it.
Oh my god, he
Wow.
actually almost did. I'd be scared to go for it. I mean, actually, I'd probably toss at the basket, but like I wouldn't expect to run it. All right, hole 17.
18, I believe he took a.
Dude, this is actually a tough hole. Think about it. Low ceiling right here, and you've got to get you got to throw like, I think it's probably like 380, but low ceiling. And I mean, if you think about it like that, you could just throw a roller. But it's like you can't go out to the right. You can't go left. You have to go down the middle through the low ceiling to get to the opening.
on the last hole, and he was pretty.
This
close
hole's
to
pretty-
there as well.
Yes.
Pretty
it
tough.
was.
And that is like the best drive ever.
Calvin, that's what the perfect drive looks like.
Yeah, it is.
That is like the best drive I've seen out of all coverage that I've ever seen on this hole.
He does that a lot.
Dude, if it turned over more,
I
though,
already said
just imagine.
a mid-range.
Yeah.
Like Calvin. Like, that's 500 feet down there. And just no finish on the thing because it's just striped.
Chris
Good
Clemons.
shot for Chris. This is going to put him on the right side. of
That's
the
like
trees. There's not gonna be
320
really
feet.
Anything in the way.
That's all you need. It's not throwing, it's golfing. That's all you need.
When he's needed to do more technical line. Which
Is he
this
going for the
a
same
technical-
shot
Yeah,
Calvin
this
just
is the
did?
technical line.
Oh my
Look at
god.
this
Now
shit.
that is actually I'm
That's
impressed.
as good as.
This is as good as Calvin's.
I'm
Yeah,
impressed
if
right
not
now.
Better somehow.
I didn't expect him
'Cause
to
it's
even
closer
get
to the
close
pin.
to
Yeah.
Calvin's shot. That was like that. I mean, Calvin's was way more than you need, but like that was really
so
impressive.
blown away the way he's been
Very
keeping it
impressive.
together. He's one birdie away from 10 down, 10
And
down,
not
10
only
down.
is
And
it
if he can
a
get
low
17
ceiling, but it's
and
uphill
18,
too.
He shoots his best.
Like
round
it's
of the
hard to
tournament
throw it
and
far uphill.
Likely the most nerve-wracking
Oh, that's
round
totally
so
fine.
far.
I'm curious how has he to see because that has a lot to do.
Calvin
with
threw
it.
at 518,
I was sniffing around.
and that was a smash
That's what my
uphill,
Really?
low gap.
Easy shot. Pull
Ooh, what happened here?
hand side, like Germ said. Really easy shot. Pulls it though.
I think he like
No,
turned his wrist
but
too much.
needs to get down. This is moving towards the out of.
Oh, wow.
Skips over the look.
Okay, I like it. I don't think the hole is actually that far.
And they do in
It
some
just
ways.
looks
Knowing
really
how to
far
win
from
is
the
very
tee.
important.
Obviously, 745 is not a
You're
hole
not
you're
gonna
going to see
find
someone
somebody-
park, but
With zero.
you don't have to
At
throw
those
too far off
hand
the
trim.
tee.
Slash
I'm curious to see if Calvin has a run at it, though.
So,
I mean,
but
dude,
those
he's
two
on
podiums
it
help.
today.
too.
I hope he wins the
There's a lot of
tournament.
people who
If Eagle's not going to win, I hope he
didn't
wins.
win anything.
Because I don't know where
Ricky
Simon
won a
is.
major.
I don't know what Simon's
USDC
doing. I don't think
before
Simon
he
cares. He,
So you don't. And what I'm saying. is
There
you
was
don't
there
have
was years ago where like Simon's like, yeah, I'm gonna get the world champion before you, Eagle. You know, now he has this kid. Now he doesn't care. You know what I mean?
First
So it's
time
like
on the Elite Series.
we want to see someone who cares.
But I
win.
don't think.
Calvin,
that you're
what
gonna
was
find
that, bro?
somebody Who's
Calvin Heimburg.
Ooh.
Bro.
whoever does that? Everybody has to win.
Dude, if only we could change time. Throw your Toro at the basket.
seriously.
It's 200 feet.
But I don't think
He's
that
throwing
you're
his
gonna find
Firebird.
These
World Championship. You know, you're not gonna find.
It's just much
putt
more
right
work,
here.
isn't it? All right, let's skip ahead. We don't need to see the putts. All right, final hole.
Up
Pretty creepy.
With some kind of tunnel
Got
shot
water.
to the basket.
I think it's
or
like 340 to get
over the
across.
top.
The play is to hit Gannon Bird's mom's foot. That was a perfect drive.
Wait, where is Gannon Bird's mom?
Let's not do that. Uh-oh.
This is looking great.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's so much power on all hyzer.
Do you guys think that that might be a little too close to that right side and maybe hem him up a little bit?
I
or
don't
is
think
that
you can
perfect?
put McBeth in a position where he can't find some way out of it.
I don't think he's too close. I think
Okay.
he can see the basket from there. I think
Yeah, but
you can definitely.
I guess
see
it's kind of refreshing to know that like you could be up here as one of these players and not even be able to throw 400 feet. You know what I mean? You don't have to be able to throw 400. It's just you have to be an insane golfer. You would think on a course like that. I think the more par 4s and 5s that don't require a thrower the more you're going to see like golfers at the top rather than throwers. Even though everyone is a golfer, is that kind of weird to say? Like a lot of these are holes where you can get the birdie by just throwing 320 feet or 350 rather.
Aaron?
All right, Calvin's going eagle. He doesn't have to smash anything.
Calvin just going eagle, so he doesn't go too far.
Those
Out-
Great drives.
You know, I was wrong. They threw 400.
Curious. To
All right, let's see
see.
what happens. Wait,
Chris
why is who is going
has
first?
the
Wasn't it
Heimburg.
Chris going first? Why is Chris going
Yeah,
first?
this is tough.
very difficult approach for a lefty.
Oh, maybe it's just
Especially going down the
like to the pin.
There.
Actually, obviously to the pin.
Indeed, go with the big high.
I was just
side.
seeing the
It's gotta
distance. I'm
come
like,
down
wait,
with a
but
lot of
Chris
angle.
is
he's
farther.
farther the zone.
Mid-range. Is this a layup? No.
I don't think he's
Not
trying
really.
to light it up.
No, not really. He just is
That
that
is
kind of guy. He's just that kind of
unfathomable.
guy.
That is so ambitious with the zone to try to go hyzer that high at that distance, 330.
Now, I know this looks easy, but this is so technical what Paul has to do here to get. See, it's
Yeah.
just so hard to get something
Hill and
serious.
Calvin. Another.
bro.
Kind of have to go.
Catch it out.
Everyone wants to lay up. Lay up. Boring. Okay, who gets how many bogeys?
4 rounds, and they're just on the same hole.
No one got a bogey
Everything
on the
else-
last hole. Okay, good. Matt Oram, Tristan Tanner, which I'm not surprised because I knew he was an amazing thrower. He's probably the best thrower besides Anthony Barella in this top 10. Everyone else is golfers except I guess Ricky Wysocki's a thrower too.
birdie.
But everyone else is a great
He's giving
thrower.
himself Opportunity.
All right, I
after
want to see the
opportunity.
next because don't they
With
show
that
the other
three-back, Mount Orem
positions as
card,
well?
they're great. Some work to
I guess
do.
not.
Nate Sexton.
But Nate Sexton, I mean, he might be the best golfer. Maybe Paul McBeth's a better thrower, but Nate Sexton is like, I would bet money that he's going to mess up the least amount of times. He just like doesn't have, he's not able to always commit to throw it, extra far. I think he can, because he can throw it like 470 or he can throw far. Anyways, pretty interesting. A lot of bland golfing, but a lot of cool birdies. Ace runs from Calvin. Pretty awesome. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below who you think's going to win. If you already know who's going to win, don't tell me. I mean, there might be already updated stats or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But, yeah, let's see. Hopefully Eagle McMahon makes a comeback. But, yeah, man, Calvin, if he had the 2 aces, bro, just think about that. All right, I'm out of here.